Well, this video may come as quite a surprise to some of you, anybody who's been familiar with any of my videos thus far. But I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, and I've come to realize that I am not an atheist. What, you say? I'm not an atheist. Well, what does that bring to your mind when you hear somebody say that? Does that automatically make you presume that I am a theist? Does that make you presume that I am anti-atheist? I mean, what does that conjure up? For me to say I am not an atheist says nothing about me. It just says that I am not something. Well, what do I mean then when I say I'm not an atheist? What am I? Well, that's a good question because we define things by what they are. When we look at something, we see characteristics about it that we can identify and relate to and define by what is there. I look at a lamp. I'm looking at this lamp on my desk here. It's very bright. It has this squirrely curly Q fluorescent bulb in it. It's a green lamp that stands up and has a little flexible thing on there. And, it's got all these parts that I recognize. I can see what it is. Well, it's sitting on top of my computer, which is not the lamp. This lamp is not this computer. This lamp is also not my monitor. It's not my camera. It's not this book. I'm not this book. I'm not you. I'm not the lamp. I'm not the desk. I'm not the door behind me. I'm not that lamp over there either. So for me to say I'm not something, well, that doesn't really say much. But it does tell you something that I'm not. It tells you, it eliminates a possibility about what I might be. Well, for the moment anyway. Maybe someday by somebody's definition, I might be something that today I'm not. But today I'm not an atheist, and I'll tell you why I say that. I say that because what atheist means, if you look it up, its origin comes from a Greek word, which I don't have in front of me at the moment, but it means without God. It means that you're not a theist, essentially, because there is this idea out there that there's this God that exists. Some people believe that God exists, whatever God it is that they believe in. That is a positive claim, that there is this thing out there that exists. Well, okay, that's something that we can describe. If it really does exist, all the descriptions so far have been made up or come from some book that people have believed to be inspired by some man who was the incarnation of God or the Son of God or whatever. But it's this idea that we can describe, whether we invent that description or how that we come about that description. That is this thing that exists. We describe what that is. The only reason, first of all, the only reason I'm not this lamp is because this lamp is here. I've been presented with this concept of this lamp. The only reason I'm not this computer is because this computer exists. If there was no such thing as a computer, there would be no reason and no concept in anyone's mind for anyone to say that I am not a computer. I'm not anything that I'm not. I'm not a 32-headed, five-eyed creature, whatever. I'm not an invisible elephant. Okay? So I don't have a whole lot of words to describe me for what I am by what I'm not. So there isn't a word to describe me as not a refrigerator. Well, you can say non-refrigerator because that's a negation. We use that to negate something to say what it isn't. It's not this. It's a non-this. I'm a non-computer. I'm a non-refrigerator. I'm a non-architect. I'm a non-doctor. Well, I'm also a non-theist. Why do you have to give me a name or a title or a word to describe me by what I'm not? I'm not a theist. I'm a non-theist. So why give that a name? You don't describe me by me not being a lamp. You don't describe me by not being a door. You don't describe me by not being a camera. You don't describe me by not being you. So why do I have to identify in any way, shape, or form with the term atheist, which all it means is non-theist, not a theist? Because the only reason that word exists is because theism exists. Because somebody looked at theism and said, I don't agree with that. I'm not that. I don't believe that. I'm an atheist. Well, I don't know what the origin of the word theist is or theism. Maybe atheist came, I don't know. But atheism is without God. I am without God because I don't believe that. God is the concept. God is the positive claim that's put before us by religious people. God is the thing by which we are comparing ourselves against because that is the item of focus. If that didn't exist, if that concept did not exist, nobody would be calling me an atheist. Nobody would be calling anybody an atheist because the word atheist wouldn't exist. The concept wouldn't exist because we wouldn't realize that we're not believing in a God because we wouldn't have that concept of the God in the first place. Before computers came along, before CD players came along, before microwave ovens came along, nobody had that concept in their mind. Nobody thought of themselves as not those things. So why do I have to accept a label placed upon me because I don't agree with the theists? I am not a theist. I am a non-theist. Therefore, leave me be. Maybe I'm an atheist. I've pretty well had enough of this stupid argument between believers and non-believers, and now I'm running up against this strife between people that call themselves atheists by their definition, arguing against other atheists who define themselves another way. Well, screw the label. Fuck the label. I'm abandoning it. I'm disowning it. The label does not apply to me because it's describing me by what I'm not. And okay, that doesn't say anything about me. So don't bother describing me as an atheist because it doesn't tell me what I am. What I am is a human being. What I am is a compassionate person who enjoys life and wants to preserve this planet for generations to come. What I am is a person who has a mind of my own, who has my own interests. I am a human being. I'm physical. You can see I have 10 fingers, 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. I mean, these are all characteristics you can define about me. You can't look at me and tell me that I am not a theist and have that mean anything. So anyway, with that said, this non-theist, non-atheist is signing off. Have a truly wonderful day and evening and tomorrow and the next day and the rest of your life. Please enjoy life, preserve it, take care of it. Focus on what keeps us together and keeps everything working and running and makes people happy and helps them out, and offer to lend a hand when you can, etc., etc., etc. Be who you are. Don't accept any labels from people telling you what you're not. All right. Thank you and goodbye.